Peace, 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 peace. Yeah, greetings, greetings. My name is Adia, and I share a lot of things about self healing, authenticity, knowing what you already know. Feeling secure in that, and actually standing on what you already know deep inside of yourself to be true. That life around us, society around us will convince us is not the case. But in that vein, um, a couple months ago, I posted a video, and I will link it at the end of this video. I posted a video about being full of myself, looking at European beauty standards, body standards, all of those things, and then looking at um, African beauty body standards, African American beauty body standards, American beauty body standards, and then looking at where my body as a perimenopausal woman, how it is developed, how it is developing, um, the care that's happening with that, and then also the connection to my emotional and spiritual awareness connected to my body, because this houses and is a conduit for my understanding and allows me to receive what is, happening around me. Um, so, so I did that video talking about how for a long time I've been shrinking. I've been shrinking emotionally, physically. Well, not even physically. Attempting to shrink physically, um, emotionally, spiritually. My voice, all those things, shrinking to appease and to please, and hoping that if I get smaller, then um, it would please others, and it would make my life a little easier. It would make things not so hard or so painful. So I did that, and I was really sitting there in my the thickness of my hips and the roundness of my belly, and all those things, the fullness of my backside, and just reveling in how getting, not even just to a certain age, but to this awareness of not shrinking to appease or not shrinking to fit an ideal that I never set up and that my ancestors never set up, but that society has, and that many of us play into, that shrinking in every other way. Once I've come to the place where I know that being authentic and being full and expanding and unfolding is what I'm called to do, then I was like, I can sit firmly in my body. I am an active woman. I move 6 days out of the week. I am walking, lifting, yoga, Pilates, something out of the week. Because my goal is, I need my heart to be healthy. I need my brain to be healthy. I need my limbs, my joints to be happy and healthy, so that as long as I'm allowed to be here on the planet, I can be here in a healthy fashion. So a couple weeks ago, I decided I was going to start teaching yoga class again in person. I've been teaching it online to students, sometimes to parents, but there was a space for a while. I was teaching in a studio, outside, online, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. So I went back to teaching in person. And what I'm sharing today is just the blessing of, when you sow good things, that you reap good things, and looking at the reaping of putting good things into our children and protecting them as they develop those things, and how we are all blessed to receive those harvests back. So my 17-year-old is home from college this summer, and when I was going to start one week doing yoga, and I didn't, because it had rained and all these things, and I was disappointed, but part of me felt like, oh, you punking out using the weather to not go out there and teach. So I didn't. I wanted the women to have like sundown for yoga. I wanted it to be cool out. I didn't want them to have to navigate wet grass, any of those things. So we start the next week, and there's a picture I guess it'll be here, that my daughter took of me as I was gathering myself before class. Anytime there's something that I'm doing, singing, well, it's all spirit work, but in any space where I need to give of myself, there has to be some quiet beforehand. So I'm preparing for yoga, and I've set up all the things, and I've lit all the incense, and I've laid out the mats, and I'm sitting down, and I'm just kind of, sitting. Just, I don't have good posture. I'm just sitting. And she took pictures because she said I looked pleased, because I looked happy. And I looked at the pictures later, and I said, I don't know if I used the word chunky, but something. When I look at myself in love, I look like a big happy melted, like a chocolate chip melting in the sun, like just soft and gooey and happy. But when I called myself chunky, she said, "Mommy, I've heard you say that a lot. Are you concerned?" Maybe concern wasn't the word she used, but something that called to the attention that I had not been speaking kindly of my body. And I had done this whole video affirming my body, and, went out and did this class affirming other people. And then when my daughter, who loves me, shows a picture of me that was taken in love, looking at me, loving on me, saying, "You look beautiful because you look peaceful," I immediately found some way to say something unkind to and about myself. So there's a couple things that I wanted to reflect on today. Is two things. One thing is, there's a video that I shared about healing and how it's a dynamic movement. It's back and forth, it's back and forth. Many of the things that I share here, anyone who is sharing anything that in earnest, in good intention, in purity of heart, what they're sharing is coming to them first. Even if it's for someone else, it resonates for that person first. So when I'm sharing these videos and I'm sharing about being full of myself and settling into the fullness of my body, the fullness of my spirit, the fullness of my mind, the fullness of my emotions, it's for me and for whomever it is that is supposed to receive it. And when we share things, when we are given new lessons, new downloads, new insights, there's also going to be the time where life, the universe, will say, "You sure? Like this is the knowledge that you're picking up. Are you ready to walk in that? Are you ready to move in that? Are you ready to stand firmly in that?" So when she called that to my attention, it might have been the third time I said something to her about something about my body, not in a loving fashion, because my daughter and another daughter and one of, well, I guess both, a few of my daughters, because I'm throwing a community daughter in there too, will sing a song about a big-bodied gal. And I'm like, well, that's me. But it's different to say a big-bodied gal, a thick sister, thick as bricks. It's different to say those things in affirmation of myself than it is to tear down myself for not looking the way that I've been told I should look, or that I held up some terrible ideal because I wasn't authentic, or I wasn't in my full authenticity or aligned. So that my daughter asking me in love and seriously in her observation, "Mama, you've said that a few times, uh, basically, you are not affirming yourself. You are not speaking kindly to yourself." And what I know is that that's something that I've poured into her, and she has her own unique expression. And when she poured it back, I said, "Wow, thank you on both sides. Thank you for reminding me to be kind to me, and then, and to speak, to trust words have power, and to speak life. And then also, thank you for reminding me to be a good example, to reflect back to you what you are reflecting to me." Um, so I think I did both those things at once. There were two things. The two things are that when we pour good into other people, in this instance, children, they pour that right back. And the other thing is that when we are given a new um, wisdom set, we are given new information, or we are just not even new, getting rid of the things that are unnecessary to us, and we begin to share those and move in those things, there's always the place to test that out. So I'm still full of myself and looking every day to grow, to be more full of myself, to not just expand into this big body gal frame that I have, but to continue to expand beyond it, to continue to expand into all the places that I'm being called to, into all the places where I connect with others. And so I just wanted to encourage you to do the same thing. When she said that, I said, huh. And the pictures, they're very sweet. She she took pictures of the yoga class. She took pictures, she took video of the yoga class. And even seeing them from her perspective, it's so full of love and joy and connection and healing, that for me to focus at the end of it on wherever I exhaled that my belly's out, or that my booty's thick, or whatever, and to put that down, as opposed to being very glad at this marvelous belly that has given birth to 3 healthy children, and this wonderful frame that looks like the frame that my mama and all her sisters came to the planet with. I got an adjustment. I got a really beautiful adjustment. So this is Reverend Okomfo Mwalimu Yogi Doula Sister Mama Adia saying peace, peace, and remember those two things. When you say you about it, the universe gives you the chance to be about it. And when you pour good into those around you, it comes back to you. All right? I'll see you soon.